welcome back to Sitting with Ashley and Ashley. This is a collective convo. We're gonna talk about rewiring our brains, and what that process is like. Okay. I had this idea last night, and then I'm like, I really feel like I should make an outline, but my brain isn't wired like that. Irony. Okay, so all right. I'm so unprepared for this. Okay. Let's see. Brain. It's a good start. Not Brian. Brain. Okay? Spell it correctly. Anyway. Alright. So, when you rewire your brain. Okay. So what is it that we are rewiring? Rewiring. This is a process that is going to be important to do if you are in addiction. And it came out a few readings ago that some people in the collective may be dealing with addiction. Rewiring our brains. Oh God, is the kid coming in here? I think a lot of people. Okay. I think a lot of people believe that our brains are set. No, every time I write brain, I can only see Brian. Anyway, are set in stone. Okay. For starters, your brain isn't even fully developed, so you're like in your mid-20s. Okay. So, I think it's around like what, 25? What is that? The should I grab my computer? I think we're gonna need my computer. Prefrontal cortex. I don't know. I am not a neurosurgeon, but I have rewired my own brain many times. Hello. Can I help you? I put this pirate shit up. Shit. Pirate ship. It's the shit. Okay. Rewiring brain. When is your brain fully developed? Yes, thank you, Google, for knowing what I'm talking about. Yeah, mid to late 20s. So if you're a person who is on medication, SSRI or others, any sort of psychotropic, what are we doing? Yeah, I finally put shit up on that shelf. Don't pull the shelf off though, please. Okay, psychotropic, relating or denoting. Kind of a Freudian slip. Anyway, relating or denoting drugs that affect a person's mental state. Okay, so if you're on any sort of psychotropics, that includes anything from SSRIs, which are like antidepressants, to like antipsychotic medication, even like anxiety meds. I've been on it all. I've been on all that shit. I was like one of their guineas. That's going to affect your brain. And one way you're going to notice that it's affecting your brain is that your eyes are going to change. And you know how they say that the soul is, your eyes are the door to the soul? I noticed when I was on, because like my eyes are like tie-dye, like brown and green. And I noticed that when I was on those meds, don't worry, I'm going to get to my point. But I want to explain all this so that we understand how the brain works, okay? I noticed when I was on all that shit that they kept putting me on and like switching up every few weeks, because yeah, I was like in the trials unknowingly, right? That my eyes changed colors and they went dark, and I knew that they were taking my soul. Like I knew that I wasn't who I am. So, and my vision also changed when I went off of everything. Like I have bad vision, but when I went off all my psychotropics, my vision improved slightly, just a little bit. But either way, interesting things. So I want to talk about rewiring your brain Google says that the way that you can rewire your brain is through exercise, expanding your vocabulary, prioritizing your quality of sleep, be aware of your thoughts, which I don't think many people are, quite frankly. I think a lot of people are just in this, what do they call it, a monkey mind, where you just react, right, instead of being aware, right? And the process of consciousness is why we're talking about the actual process of rewiring your brain, because when you come into consciousness, or when you start to lead from a heart space versus monkey mind, I guess, for lack of words and distraction. Do you want me to put Macklemore on so you can sit in your chair and stop doing all that? That'd be great. Also, hey, I got the trolls out of the van. Now I'll put these baby trolls in this van. Those things are not supposed to go together. And he was like, hey, we're going on a road trip. And I had to pull the trolls out by their hair yesterday. Finally, they all came out. Anyway. Also, being aware of your thoughts. We went on a tangent, like always. We do side quests over here. I have ADHD, but I think it's a superpower because my brain works really fast. So anyway, that's another thing. Rewiring your brain is kind of like your mindset, right? But anyway, let's finish what Google says. Practicing daily gratitude. I agree with that. And take actions to support your intention. I think that intention is everything. I say that a lot. Like, if you have good intention, you're gonna get good karma, you know? But good intention takes practice, right? It's not just like, I'm a great person, but actually I fucking suck, right? Sorry for the volume. We have to do it like that. All right. Is it a see you? Don't mind the puppy pad. I keep that in here in case the dogs go potty at night. Oh, God. Okay. Anyway, if you have a kid, give him one of those chairs. You can get it at TikTok Shop. That's where I got mine. It's great for people who stim or have big energy. Also, he likes to spin to Macklemore, so I don't know, maybe your kid will too. Anyway, your brain is not fully developed until your mid to late 20s. The brain stops growing in size during adolescence, but teen years are when it fine-tunes its functions. Blah, blah, blah. The brain matures by being more connected and specialized. So I think that's the thing. When I was put on psychotropics, I started psychotropics when I was like 13, 14. I was put on antidepressants, and I believe that greatly impacted my developing brain, right? Niall has autism, but like, he's getting a whole bunch of other diagnoses as well, like ADHD, and I know they're gonna try and medicate him, and they also want to send him to school, and I'm like, no, kid's being schooled by his mom in life, in the world. Macklemore, okay? We have recess with Macklemore. Anyway, I don't need that anymore. When I think that greatly impacted me. So if you're someone, I'm not telling you to go off your meds, but if you choose to, I did a story time a few months ago about going off of psychotropics, and I recommend watching that if that's something that you're interested in. There are resources available to support you in that. But watch that video first, and then in the description box below that video are the resources that I used to support others, okay? But I think when we're talking about rewiring our brain, it's important to understand how the brain works, how long it, what else going on. You don't need to know everything, but within your brain is the pineal gland. It's like a tomato thing. Everyone says it wrong, but that's your third eye, better known as your third eye. And fluoride from our water supply, toothpaste, all these chemicals, the GMOs, everything, all of that shit impacts your brain. But I think within psychiatry or psychology is more behavioral based, and psychiatry is like the study of the brain, supposedly, but I also believe that's more based on behavior, right? And so anyway, when you understand how your brain is working and how, like, this channel, this project, everything I do is about liberating yourself from systems of oppression, most of which are already in your head because of indoctrination. So I want you to know, first and foremost, it is absolutely possible to be given new information and update software. Like, do software updates, right? I hate using analogies of technology, but I feel like that's the only thing people really understand. Because psychology and psychiatry will tell you, when they put me on meds, they're like, you're going to be on these for the rest of your life. And I'm like, the hell I am. I was like, no, I'm not. Like, that's ridiculous. My brain's not even fully developed. Why don't you just, like, ask me about my trauma and maybe give me a hug and, like, a sweet treat, and I'll be all right. Right? I think a lot of rewiring our brain is also getting back to the innocence of childhood, which is why I do what I do, in regards to healing, decolonizing, shadow work, inner child stuff. But yeah, you can absolutely rewire your brain, especially with this ability to research and, like, have information, access to information, which we don't know how much longer we're gonna have that, cause yeah, shit's getting weird. Hang on, I gotta change it. We don't like this part of the video. Alright, we're autistic, so we're gonna listen to this for probably the next 45 minutes. I'm not exaggerating. So I'll keep you guys limited to just a couple. Anyway, it's absolutely possible to heal your brain. Your brain, just like every other part of your body, is growing. Always, like the motherfucking trees. I have it right here. Always. And your brain is no different than anything. When I was going through my journey, I worked with NAMI for a minute until I got to my master's degree. And I was like an advocate for other folks in mental health because I pulled myself up, right? And I was still on pharma, but I would like go. I actually went to the hospital that I was incarcerated at as a guest speaker when I went back to get my bachelor's and stuff. And, you know, just letting people know that, like, hey, you're not gonna be here forever. When you get out, you can do whatever you want. You can finish your goals. Just here for a minute. This is like a little speed bump, right? And I truly, but like when I was working with NAMI, I remember one thing that like I had in my little speech was like, your brain can't tell your brain it's sick. But like that didn't come from me. That came from other people. And it was like everyone around me was like, you're fucking crazy. And I'm like, actually, shit makes a lot of sense. I'm just not able to articulate it because you're closed-minded, right? Like, so like maybe you don't even need to rewire your brain. If you are on medication, I want you to know that if that's dumbing you down, it's supposed to do that. The medication disconnects you. So your brain is full of like connectors, right? Neurons, and it looks a lot like it's like it to me, the actual brain matter and the way that because you're electromagnetic, so you have electricity running through your brain, right, through your heart. That's why if someone falls out, they pump you with electricity, right? So if you think of yourself as an electrical current, right? Remember those conductors and shit from... Wow, I did not see us going here with this conversation. All right, so you know those conductors and shit, like water? Is water a conductor? I'm not good at science at all. But anyway, so I probably shouldn't be explaining the brain. But anyway, your brain has electromagnetic connections. So what the medicine does, or what any sort of outside medicine does, right? I think a big part of being alive is getting back to that place you were as a child, but also like poison wise, right? Like cleansing your body. This is part of reclamation, right? Part of rewiring your brain, because the wiring that indoctrination the apathy of social media, the information from both like unhealthy food and also medicines, whatever the medication is, right? That shit is, I'm losing my thought because it's getting really hot in here. Oh god, it's so hot in here right now. I don't know where it was. Oh, rewiring your brain to get back to a place of like a clean slate, right? Like a software update to remove, right? That analogy. To remove the bugs, right? Remove the stuff. So what these medicines do is they cut off the connections, right? So if you think of your brain as like a bunch of little tiny bridges, right, of like information, right? Like you've got a filing cabinet over here full of funny thoughts or I don't know, one-liners, and then you have a filing cabinet over here full of I don't know, movies and one-liners. I don't know, maybe there's like a bridge, and then that's like what can come out. So anyway, you want to rewire, you want to organize your brain, and then you want to rewire it. I know these things are abstract, but I'm doing my best. But yeah, if you've been on medication like me, I was on medicine for a good 10 years on and off of pharmaceuticals, because then it was like Adderall and Concerta, and that was a whole addiction in my teenage years. But like nobody, not one therapist, psychologist, jail nurse, actually Barbara in jail, she was one of the best nurses I ever had. Anyway, no one ever said to me, hey, your brain's still developing. What happened to you that makes your behavior react like this, right? And I could have been on a whole different path, right? Like, I'm cool with what happened at this point. But, like, I could have been on a whole nother path if someone would have said that. So I want to put this here, letting you know, you don't have to be on meds to make this resonate. But I want you to know that you're absolutely able to think freely. Trust your brain. When you hear a voice, you're not schizophrenic. That's how brains work. You're supposed to hear things inside your head. That means that you're alive and doing well. Okay, when you get an idea, that's you having an idea. That's not something to be afraid of. No, that's not a ghost. No, that's not the devil sitting on your shoulder. That's how your brain works. Like, what the fuck? At least we've gotten over lobotomies. If you don't know what a lobotomy was, they'd stick an ice scraper like in your head and like shuffle shit around. And it would often obstruct people's vision because they would like literally like through the forehead drill and shit. But pharma is a medicalized version of a lobotomy. They are still cutting your connectors. I've been through this. I know what it felt like to be on pharma. I had no fucking brain. I had no memory. I had no sense of humor. Everything was like cloudy. And then I went off everything, which again, if you want to do that, go peep the story time. It's a story time going off pharmaceuticals, I think. Anyway, watch that before you do this by yourself. All right. And then also go to the resources. I'm cautioning, I'm not trying, because you could go into psychosis if you stop taking medication that your brain is used to at this time. There's a way you have to go off of it. But anyway, I just want you to know you're able to think for yourself. When presented with new information, that's part of the rewiring, that's part of the decolonizing, part of the shadow work. Ask yourself questions. I've put out a ton of shit about introspection. If you're trying, or if you're in the space of rewiring your brain or coming into consciousness or whatever, healing, whatever, basically the root of whatever it is that you are probably experiencing probably happened when you were a kid. Or before your brain was fully developed, or if that's you right now, you know, you're still not at a space where your brain is fully developed. So if you've got all these motherfuckers throwing medicine at you, or, you know, telling you you're fucking crazy because you're having emotions, capitalism needs you to behave a certain way. And if you don't behave that certain way, they're going to tell you there's something wrong with you. Okay? The problem is capitalism, not you. You're an artist, you're a free human. Your brain is probably fucked up from something that happened when you were little. Or just the poisons that we are exposed to every day. All of it. But remember, you have electrical currents, you have a magnetic field around you, and you can rewire your shit, okay? It's very easy, and I have put a fuck ton of shit here so that you know how to do that, okay? I hope this helps. I'm gonna let you go before you go crazy listening to the same song. And this video is 20 minutes, so it's probably gonna take 5 hours to upload. I apologize. I'll be back when that's done. Have a good one.